To the Town of Archer Lodge regular council meeting that we had to reschedule from Monday to this Thursday, February the 5th, 2026, in these Jeffrey D. Barnes council chambers. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilman Jackson if he would please give an invocation.
Sure will. Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the opportunity to deliberate the town's business and do our best to be good servants for our community. I, for one, am grateful that the snow is over with and we're ready to get back to normal living. We do ask that you look over the folks today that slid off roads and all that. Just hopefully it was very minimal kind of stuff. We do ask that you guide us in our deliberations as we go about the town's business, put a hedge of protection around our town. And we also ask that you look over our service members here and abroad. We have our local National Guard unit is heading overseas for about a year-long deployment, and that affects a lot of local families directly. And just ask that you look over them and guard them as they guard the gates of freedom for us. And we ask for peace and grace in all the things that we do. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 2, approval of the agenda. Council would like to add an additional closed session due to personnel as item 17. That is just after council members' remarks and just prior to adjournment. So we would add closed session as item 17, moving adjournment as item 18. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. It is any discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to flip-flop number 3 and 4 in case anyone from the public would like to comment on anything on the consent agenda.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
you want to put that in form of a motion? Or
do we have to amend?
We just would amend, right? Because we already had the motion, but this was during discussion. So we would amend it, okay?
That would come from Councilmember Eccles.
All right.
I make a motion that we amend the agenda to make open public comments number 3 and switch that with the consent agenda and make that number 4.
Okay, so flip-flopping 3 and 4 as originally shown, okay? Second?
I'll second
On the
that.
amendment?
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, unanimous vote. Okay. All right. So at this time, we have, what's that? Okay. We have open comment. Mr. Ronnie?
All right, Mr. Mayor, Council, I'll be brief, won't be very long about this. I just wanted to come as a representative of Johnson County Little League and thank you for the continued support that we've gotten over the last year. We're getting ready to kick off our next year. Registration actually closes as soon as me and Chris walk out here tonight, and then he can close the system. So we're seeing record numbers from what I've ever seen, as I've been a lot involved with Clayton and Johnson County Little League. So highest numbers we've ever seen. Good problem and a bad problem. We got to find space for them all. We got to find people to coach them all. But we're pretty well set for what we need to get done. And the second thing is more of is part of the support and is a kind of a big announcement for our league. We were we were recently selected to host not only the last year where we hosted the 9-year-old district baseball and the state tournament for baseball. This year we were given the all of the softball district tournaments, which are 3, possibly 4. And then the big one that we've been Chris and I have been working to try to get this done over the last year, probably it's been a process, is the 12U state tournament, which is a step before they go to ESPN pretty much. So they'll come out of Archer Lodge, go directly onto ESPN in some form or fashion. And we have 12U girls that have a legitimate chance to win that this year. So we'll be glad that they're going to be at home, playing at home, in front of their parents, their families, and their friends. We're not too sure what we're getting into with it because it's going to be much bigger crowds than what we had last year, we think. Especially with we're more centrally located in the state for a lot of the big organizations. So we expect a larger influx from what we had last year. The state tournament will start July the 6th and run that whole week. It'll all be night games, there won't be anything during the day. The district tournament will be June the 19th to the 21st. It's all day, well, it's Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday pretty much, and then that's the end of that. We were offered baseball again, but in the interest of Chris and my sanity over those couple weeks, we declined it. They wanted us to take it back. They nothing but complimentary from all around the state, from our facilities and the way staff was during that week. So this is a big event for our league, for the area. To my knowledge, this tournament's never been hosted anywhere in the Triangle area. This is the first. So we'll get you more information as it comes closer and we start the logistics planning process. But I just wanted to come and thank you guys for your support over the last 2 years pretty much. And we can hopefully keep rolling through with it. So thank you.
Outstanding. Sounds great. All right, consent agenda, item number 4. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Item 5, item 5A, discussion and possible action on making appointments to the planning board and board of adjustments. I believe that information had gone out in the agenda packets. I think Mr. Marcus has some ballots for us, don't you?
I do, yes, Mr. Mayor. There are 2 seats open. So with this, there's 2 ways we can do this. You see 1 term expiring in next year, 1 term expiring in 28. We can have 2 votes, or we can just have 1. You vote for 2, and whoever's first alphabetically gets the 27 term, and whoever's second alphabetically gets the 28 term. My recommendation is just do 1 vote, unless someone feels strongly the other way.
I'm fine with that.
I will pass those down.
Okay. Any others want to make a comment on that, or are you good with what council has recommended?
We'll give it a go.
Okay.
On these, again, vote for 2. Did I give you enough? No. Vote for 2, print and sign, and then pass them back to me. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Mayor, I have calculated the votes. Total votes counted: Russ Austin with 4, Joe Creech with 2, Spencer Lane with 1, Herbert Locklear with 1, and Teresa Romano with 2. So we do have Russ Austin with 4 votes who will get a seat. There is a tie between Joe Creech and Teresa Romano, and that one will go to you, sir.
Okay. You have a ballot for me,
I do.
so I can sign and print. Thank you.
And while you're doing that, I will go ahead and say, since we just did the one vote, just by benefit of being first, Russ Austin will get the term expiring December 31st, 2027.
There you go.
And the tie-break vote goes to Teresa Romano. So the 2 individuals that is before you to fill the 2 seats are Russ Austin to fill the 27, and then Teresa Romano would fill the 2028 term.
Okay. Item 5B, discussion and possible action on the
And we
request.
need a motion and vote on those.
Sorry, thank you. Council, do I have a motion to appoint Russ Austin and Teresa Romano to the town's planning board? I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, unanimous vote. All right, item 5B, discussion and possible action on a request for disposition of surplus property valued at less than $1,000. I believe that we're turning that over to you, Mr. Mann.
Thank you, Mayor. What you'll see on that list is there are 1 surge protector, 6 computer towers. Those are all obsolete. They cannot be updated anymore. They can't be donated, really. They're just out of date. And so what'll happen if you all approve this, they'll be taken to the County Solid Waste Convenience Center for electronic recycling. But they're just out of date, out of use. We have new computers that we use now. So what we would request is that you all would approve the disposition.
Okay, any council have any questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the surplus property disposition as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion, and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, unanimous vote. All right, item number 6, closed session. I'm going to ask our attorney to carry us into closed session.
Mr. Mayor, pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 143, 318.11.6, you are authorized to go into closed session. You will need a motion, second, and a vote.
Okay. Council, do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So,
I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, unanimous vote. We are in closed session. We are on item number 7, organizational items. Item 7A is discussion and possible action on approving the contract of employment for town administrator. I'm going to defer to our legal counsel about amendments to the contract.
Mr. Mayor and council, the amendments that we have discussed first are found in section 3C of the contract, and what I'm going to do is I will read the amendments and then read the new section language as it should sound as amended for both of these. Section 3C will be changing section 9 severance to read section 8 severance. We're changing the word herself to himself. And then we are going to add if offered by employer at the end of the section. Section 3C will now read if employee is permanently disabled or is otherwise unable to perform their duties because of sickness, accident, injury, mental incapacity, or health for a period of 4 successive weeks beyond any accrued sick leave, employer shall have the option to terminate this agreement subject to the severance pay requirements of Section 8 severance, provided, however, that this provision shall in no way abrogate or limit employee's right to avail himself of any legally accrued leave he may be eligible for, including but not limited to leave granted pursuant to the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA, if offered by employer. The next amendment is under section 14, bonding. We are going to be adding the provision, employee shall pay the difference of any bond premium due to the bond action of prior employer. Section 14 will now read, employer shall bear the full cost of any fidelity or other bonds required of the employee under any law or ordinance. Employee shall pay the difference of any bond premium due to the bond action of prior employer. Those are the amendments to the contract.
Okay? Any member of council have any questions about these amendments? All right, hearing none.
Just the contract.
Okay, all right. All right, do I have a motion to approve the contract of employment for town administrator to include the 4 amendments just read by legal counsel at the starting salary of $125,000?
So moved.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
I'd still just like to say I can't support the salary.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 3-2. Item 7B, discussion and possible action of appointing David Bone to the town administrator position. Do I have a motion to appoint David Bone as the next town administrator for Town of Archer Lodge?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Anything I missed in that motion?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. We had a motion, we had a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 3-2. Item number 7C, administration of oath of office to the town administrator by Mayor Matthew B. Mulhall. Mr. Bone, if you would join me, please. Do you have a designee that I do not hold the Bible? Yeah, he needs to raise his right hand. All right. I, repeat your name.
I, David Bone,
Thank you. Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States,
and laws of these United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support,
that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of said state,
and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as town administrator,
as town administrator,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. All right. You get the picture you need, or, okay? All right, item number 8, Town Attorney's Report.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Item 9, interim town administrator's report,
I'll be
and,
brief, sir.
okay,
The rest of the bills, it has been delayed because of the weather naturally, and we should have plans for the maintenance building and the pickleball courts in the next 30 days. So weather permitting. Sorry.
It's too late now. Just pass it down, Leonard.
Okay. That's all I have.
Just hold it down.
okay, and I think it would be good to include town administrator's report in this as well for the second portion. Does that conclude yours, Mr. Mike?
Yes, sir.
If you'll pass that to Mr. David then, if he has anything he'd like to share with us.
Yeah, you got one right here.
Okay. Mayor, council members, first of all, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to working with you to serve the community here. I've certainly been familiar with this community and the region for some time, and my wife and I look forward to relocating here. I look forward to learning more about the community and working with staff and you as well. So again, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate the confidence and look forward to good days ahead.
Thank you. All right, item 10, Assistant Town Administrator, Finance Officer's Report. Ms. Kim?
Yes, sir, Mayor, Council. The first one that we have on the list is the December interim financial statements. This is for the general fund, capital reserve fund, and public safety, and the park reserve fund, public safety, and capital improvement fund, capital fund. So we are, with it being the end of December, we are 50% halfway through the fiscal year, which I cannot believe. But it goes fast. And as you can see on the second page right quick, our revenues are in at 54%, which is really good. And as you'll see too, we got a big bulk of our property taxes during the month of December, during the month of December. They were the collections for November. If you'll run through each page, I tried to make sure at this particular report that it does have the percentages real quick for each of the departments. And as you can see, the governing body is right on task with 50%. I'm going to go pretty fast. If you will look at the administration, we're at 50% as well. Quickly moving to tax collections is at 68%. That's because we've gotten the majority of our tax money from the county. And so going forward, those amounts will be less. So you expect to spend more up front. Legal fees is right around the 50 percentile as well. Personal property is over because we had that come up in an item that was purchased, and we didn't have enough budgeted for that. Next, we will go to public buildings, and that is less than 50%. And going over to the PEG Media channel, the video programming is only at a quarter. We've only received one quarter of our distributions from the Department of Revenue for the PEG Media channels. Going over to public safety, this is at less than 50%, which is really good. This is one of our big departments, as you know. Public Works is way less at 13%. Planning and zoning is less than, is at 42%. And then Parks and Recreation, which is our big department as well, is right at 50%. So it looks like our projected expenditures has done well in the budget process. Going over to the debt service, we have already paid 2 of our debt payments for the year, and there is one left, so that's why you're seeing that at 70 percentile. And then the transfer between the general fund to the other 3 funds, we are at 69%. The only thing that's left to do is just the continued 2-cent transfer that we collect from the tax money throughout the rest of the fiscal year. And then if you look at the last page of the general fund, you'll see, I like this operating because you can kind of see where we are year to date, and with the revenues coming in and our expenditures, and our revenues are higher than our expenditures at this point, so that is great news. Any questions regarding general fund?
When's the last payment due?
I think it's next month. Yeah, we're in February, March. I think it's in March, yes. And actually, 2 of the debt payments, after we get through this fiscal year,
One more.
we'll be having to pay just 1 more year on 2 of those, and so we'll just have only 1 debt payment left, so that's good news. The next thing we're going to talk about is Capital Reserve Fund. The only activity in that fund, as you can see, is the investments coming in. No expenditures out of the Capital Reserve Fund. Going over to the Park Reserve Fund, which is Fund 31, and that is investment earnings as well as the 2 cents that we transfer each month from the tax rate. And then the final one is Fund 32, and that is our Public Safety Reserve Fund. And the investment earnings is the only activity other than the transfer that we budgeted at the beginning of the year. I make those transfers from the general fund at the very beginning in July, and that transfer has already been completed. So the other activities throughout the rest of the fiscal year, unless something were to come up in public safety or capital reserve, is just in interest earnings, interest investments. Okay, is there any question regarding any of those 3? If you don't have any more questions, if you'll look at the very last page, thank you, Ben, and it's got where we are with all 4 funds. It shows the revenues for all 4, the expenditures, and we are in the positive amount, which is great, about $379,000. We still got 6 more months to go, though. If no more questions, then we'll go on to the, let's see what's next, the reserve balances. Yes, thank you, Ben. Thank you. I'm not used to holding that and talking and shuffling papers. As you will see in our liabilities, it breaks it down into the funds that have liabilities, and of course, the Capital Reserve Fund, Park Reserve Fund, Public Safety, our SCIF grant. That's the amount of liability that's left in that fund. Doesn't mean that it's not been encumbered. That is the difference in what we got and what we spent. We still have items that are encumbered. And then the Reader grant, same thing with that, a little over $1 million in the Reader grant funds. And then you'll see the difference is the general fund for a total liability and fund balance of a little over 3.5 million. Is there any more questions regarding that? If not, then we'll go over to the SCIF grant, in which I redid that today because we did had some payments processed today out of the SCIF grant, so I like for that to be up to date as possible. So as you'll look on the last page, and I think Ben did switch y'all's copies out. Okay, your copy should have 2.5 in the top right. And as you'll look at the bottom, the amount left to be encumbered is a little over $50,000. And that started out at being $850,000, the one that we got in, I think it was 22. Okay. Now we'll go over to the last grant, which is the reader grant. This one is time is of the essence. We received $2,365,000 in '24. We have until the end of June to encumber the difference on this last page of $817,000. Keep in mind that we have pickleball courts that's getting ready to go for bid, the park maintenance building, that we're in the process of getting that out to bid. We have fencing that we've already got quotes for that we're having to have in certain areas throughout the park. And what am I missing?
Bathroom bill finish.
Yes, finishing, yes, we haven't finished with the restrooms yet, so there's still some outstanding invoices dealing with the contractors on that as well. And I think there's still some stuff that's got to be done around the retention pond on the west side park for J.M. Daniels to complete their portion. But I promise you, staff is working very diligently to make sure that this money gets encumbered before June the 30th. And actually, we've had calls from Donna White's office and Larry Strickland's office to make sure that we are aware. They know how much we have left or hasn't been spent, because I have to report that every time I spend money. It's reporting, you know that. It's grant reporting is fun. But so they know exactly where we're at, how much is being spent, and so they just want to make sure that we know, do what you got to do before June 30th, because we don't want to have to ask for that money back. So we're doing our best. And I think that's all I have for the financial reports. The audit is complete. It has been sent into the LGC, and our auditor will be speaking with you at the March meeting. Yes, the regular council meeting in March. He will hand out the audit to you. I will say there's no findings. 10 years in a row, love it. That's all I have.
Great. Any council have any questions? All right, moving along, item number 11, Town Clerk's Report. Mr. Ben?
Thank you, Mayor. Keeping on the topic of grants, I just wanted to update you all. Myself, with the help of Mike and Jason, we applied for the NCDOT Pedestrian Safety Grant Program, and we have been approved for half of what we applied for. So we have been approved for a crosswalk to be put in between the church and the community center. The town doesn't have to pay any money. It's completely DOT. They should be coming out. Now, we know DOT works really fast, but they should be coming out sometime within the next month or so to do a design study to figure out, you know, what resources they need. And then closer to the summer, they'll obligate the funds, and then early this fall, we should hopefully see construction start again. With it being NCDOT, we don't really know, but we've been approved for that, and so that's really exciting. I'll note that if they find anything major during the design phase, there's always the potential that they could pull out, but with it being a crosswalk and making the sidewalks ADA compliant. I highly doubt that they'll pull out. I spoke to our division engineer right whenever we found out, and he seemed pretty optimistic. The other thing I'll say is we'd applied for a crosswalk and crosswalk lighting to be put at the park from where eventually folks will be crossing the street from one side of the park to the other. We weren't approved for TAP funds with the Pedestrian Safety Grant Program, but they have recommended us for Highway Safety Improvement Program funds, which is another federal grant program. So they're our division engineers are actively looking at finding funding through that avenue for that project as well. Again, that wouldn't be any money the town would spend, it'd be federal funds. And any federal funds that don't meet all the funds needed for the project, NCDOT will match the rest. So that's pretty exciting. As we hear things from DOT, we'll update you all. Did anyone have any questions?
Just one on the crosswalk over at the church, will they tell us when they're coming to do that?
Hopefully. DOT doesn't have the best track record of letting us know when they're going to do something. But our division engineers have been pretty good about being communicative, at least about this project with the grant, so I would hope. I still don't know when they're coming out to do, they could just show up one day and start doing a study for the design. But we'll try and kind of be on them to keep us in the loop, because I know that's a busy intersection, and that could be really frustrating for people that aren't aware of it ahead of time.
And the reason I asked, well, several of us up here, because we attend a church there, and I don't know if they could meet with the folks from the church, like Bill Seiler, and to see where, if they could meet exactly what the church needs, I'd be surprised, but if they could, it'd be nice. But just at least have the input, because, if they put it in one spot, it's not.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to reach out to, our division engineers are super nice, so it doesn't hurt to reach out and at least see, you're talking about like the specific placement of it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll reach out to them next week and at least ask.
And where was that second crosswalk?
At the park, it would, in the future, on, I guess, the west side of the park, when that's finished, it would run from one side to the other. And then there would be like a pole where you can push the button, and then further back from the crosswalk would be lighting, so that if people are coming around that bend, there's lighting telling them someone's waiting at the crosswalk. But as soon as we hear anything about that one moving forward, we'll let y'all know. But right now, that one's on pause. But they also seemed optimistic about that one.
I'm so thankful we've been able to get that ditch bank shaved down. That's going to be a lot safer situation.
Right.
Here, that additional lighting is going to make a big difference too.
And in the future, I can't remember if it's at the next budget session or the March meeting, but we plan on bringing back conversation about speed limits. The planning board had a conversation about that, and I know that's something you all are interested in. So that'll be coming back before not too long. Thank you.
Ben, got one question. Have you heard anybody talking about this deal up here at the end of Archer Lodge Road?
Yes, that might be a better question for Jason or Mike.
I had a phone call this week from somebody that was coming from Wendell, and 2 cars went around that.
Yeah, we've gotten several complaints. We've been in contact with DOT to let them know that that's been happening, because of course that's a safety concern. I don't know if we've heard back from DOT yet. They let us know they were looking into it.
To the contractor to see if they
Yeah.
can do something different.
But we've been made aware.
The only complaints I've heard about it so far is just that, the people going around it.
Right.
I've not heard, it amazed me, but I've not heard anybody's really upset that it was closed.
No, I've not heard anything except for that one, and they were concerned because 2 cars following each other went around and went around it when he was coming from Wendell. and they didn't even slow down when they run on the Wendell Road, and that's what concerned him.
Yeah.
But
You could see the tracks. I was shocked
Yeah.
when I saw that.
he said we need to just cut it all the way off.
Put a ditch there.
But I said, well, I'll check into it. I'll let him know. But they're looking at it, so that's all we can. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, item number 12, Human Resource Officers Report. Ms. Cynthia?
Good evening. I would like to report that we, this week, posted our employment advertisement for 2 positions, one being athletic aide and the other being athletic supervisors. Both of these are part-time positions. We heard earlier tonight in our public comments about all the things that we're going to be doing and had to turn down a program. Well, in order to make sure that we have the adequate staff, we advertise for these. Prior to going to a resource of recruitment that we pay for, I will be reaching out to various civic organizations and local churches because we are hopeful that we'll get some of our own citizens to fill these positions. And that's all I have, Mayor and Council, unless you
Okay.
have questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? All right, moving along to item 13, Town Planners Report. I don't think Mr. Jason's here with us tonight. All the members of council received the December Animal Control Report. If you have any questions, you can contact Mr. Jason. Item number 14, Parks and Recreation Director's Report. Mr. Chris?
Good evening. I might keep it short, I might not, I'm not sure. Depends on the conversations on a couple of topics we have here. As Mr. Ronnie from JCLL mentioned earlier, registration ends this evening. I think my last count before I walked out of office, we were at 475, that being with T-ball, softball, and baseball combined. Numbers are comparable to previous years. I can't say they're higher, but because we've been over 500 since I've been here before in the spring season. As well as flag football, that's up. We had 38 kids signed up last year. We're at 52 this year. And that's a great thing just because we have more coaches. I don't have to coach 4 teams this year. Moving forward, I want to present you guys, we currently have a food truck policy in place with the town, but we don't have where vendors can sign up to be food trucks at the park. So we kind of leave ourselves open to who can come in our parks to sell food outside of, because we've had some people pop up before, selling during our baseball games and softball games. And we've had to tell them to leave, just because we didn't have any notice that they were going to be there. So with this procedure, we're kind of looking, I'm not looking for anything to be voted on tonight, but I just want to get something in your hands so you can review and possibly take action during our March meeting. But with this policy, me and Jason, we work together on this, not policy, but agreement. It's a way of tracking who's selling whatever in our parks. Currently, I think when we have baseball, softball, as well as T-ball games, it's kind of we don't have any food for kids to eat over there. It's like we can't provide anything. This is a way for us to track as well as schedule food trucks over there for the patrons in the evening, where a patron don't have to go to Flowers or Clayton to eat an evening dinner. We can we can have Friendly's Mexican food truck down there where they can get something to eat down there in the evenings. And again, it's nothing where, we don't have any notice that they were going to be there. So you can review and possibly take action during our March meeting. But with this policy, we're kind of looking, I'm not looking for anything to be voted on tonight, but I just want to get something in your hands so you can review and possibly take action during our March meeting. But with this procedure, we're kind of looking, we don't have any food for kids to eat over there. It's like we can't provide anything. This is a way for us to track as well as schedule food trucks over there for the patrons in the evening, where a patron don't have to go to Flowers or Clayton to eat an evening dinner. We can have Friendly's where we're saying they can't come, but this is a way to track who comes in there. So the agreement pretty much is $25, and you get, if you look on the last page, that's kind of what they would, this is kind of the certificate they would have when, if they get approved to sell in the park. To sell in the park. And we're not asking a lot of money. We're pretty much saying $25 for 6 outings over at the park. And again, we would abide by our food truck policy, which we can't have any more than 2 food trucks at an event unless it's a town event. It would be a town event, but we don't want a whole corral of food trucks either. So like if we're having friendlies, we would have a snow cone person as well, something like that. And again, it's kind of, we did a little research on it as well. We got probably half the towns doing something just like what we're proposing. And then I know I was talking with our new appointed town administrator as well. You have some towns such as Clayton, they're having one vendor exclusively for every night. I'm not sure if that's something you guys would want to look into as well. But again, we have options. I just want to get something in your hands right now so you guys can kind of think about it and talk about it, and then maybe we can come back next meeting in March and have some type of action, or you guys can give me some kind of guidance on what you want to see with this agreement moving forward.
Chris, is the one that you handed out different than what was in the agenda packet, or are they the same?
They're the same.
Okay.
I didn't think you guys had an agenda packet.
I just wanted to look at the right one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then moving along, we had former council member John Bazzelli come forward and have some concerns with our agreement with the community center. Some items that they wanted to get closure on or a plan on moving forward. One was the fencing had some damage over there at the community center. One being a hole in the bullpen on the visitor side at the community center, as well as the back fence in left field was kind of being propped up by a strap, like a truck strap. It was tied together at a pole. Both were kind of safety issues, and both have been completed. So with the hole in the fence, Mr. Dean Castleberry got fry fencing to fix that portion of the fence. That was going to be the most expensive part, and fry fencing fixed that at no cost, being to the community center or the town. The town, we as of this past last Friday, we did fix the outfield fence. So the poles are now set, as well as the fence is not being held together by a strap. So fencing over at the community center park is complete, where there's no damages or anything that would cause harm to patrons or any participants participating in our programs. And then there was a second part that Mr. Bazzelli mentioned as well, was a plan for the lighting over at the community center. We have a total of 40 lights between the baseball field as well as the baseball, softball field, as well as the multi-purpose field. Out of those 40 lights, we have 19 out. Wow. No, is it 19? Yes, 19 out. That being 11 on the baseball field and 8 on the multi-purpose field. In the past, we have used Mr. Dean Castleberry's light tower in the left field. We just made sure we would fill it up periodically, just making sure that diesel gas was in it, and that we returned it full as he gave us permission to use it. One thing that we do put ourselves as, I guess, liable if something happens to that, we have to repair his equipment. I do have some quotes that I've obtained over the last, we've been quoted out over the last couple of years here. I did not put vendor names on these quotes, but I will explain each one so we can get a better understanding of what we're looking at.
Thank you, sir.
So with vendor A is going to be our most expensive option. Vendor A is going to be a comparable vendor to Musco, where it won't require Musco poles. I'm not sure if you noticed, like over at our new baseball fields, the Musco poles are pretty much the steel poles. They're not the old wooden poles that we use over at the community center, but they're pretty heavy-duty poles, steel poles to hold their equipment up. With this vendor A, it's comparable where there will be a online where we can turn off and on the lights, as well as they can, from talking with the vendor, they can use our wooden poles to kind of put their features on our wooden poles, so it wouldn't require any updating of the poles. Again, they can't really say that 100% because no one has actually come out to actually view those poles from that company. So he did state they would retrofit their lighting system to our poles, but as well as I think they actually had to put boots on the ground to actually see our poles so they can do that. That's a LED. Those are LED lights, and they would kind of cut back on the amount of lights that we're currently using over there now. Currently, we have 40 lights. They would go down to 37 lights. And when you're talking life of a bulb, you're talking in hours. So he did. The vendor did let us know that it would be 50,000 plus hours of lighting. I can't put that in years, but that's a lot. That's a long time, though. We won't have to worry about that for a long time. A warranty does come with that, 10 years on material and 5 years on the cloud, because there's a system we use to set up your schedules for the lighting system. And with that, the scope of work, that does include installation of the light fixtures as well as the connections. So over there now at the community center, there's a box. I mean, it's your traditional outdoor box, but there's a light switch on the side of the box. So pretty much we don't go into the box. We just kind of, there's 3 light switches, and we flip the light switch on for whichever field we want lighting on. That being the scoreboard, the multi-purpose field, or the baseball, softball field. With option B would be fixing LED lights, but not replacing all LED lights. This would be replacing the 20 lights that we have out, that being 11 on the baseball field and 9 on the soccer field. I do have the options of those lights as well, so you can look at how they look.
Chris, do you have any more sheets of the first quotes that you?
I did not. I don't print out them.
Let's see.
You want to see this? Sorry. I'm sorry, it's in black and white. I wasn't thinking when I was putting that in. So with the first option on the handouts I just passed around, that would be how vendor A lights would look if we choose that route. The second sheet would be for repeat that. The first vendor would be the second sheet. So it has tech lighting, sports lighting up there. That would be for vendor A. So if you're curious how lights would look, the type of lighting used, how it would look. For vendor B, it would be that first sheet. So with vendor B, again, we're not replacing the quote that we got there. We're not replacing all the lights, but all the lights that are currently out. So it would be LED lights along with what we currently have, the HID lights. Again, it's a fix, but it's not as, it wouldn't hold up as long as the lights with vendor A. Vendor C being our cheaper option. This would replace the current lights that we have out right now. That would be, the quote was for 18 lights, but I would need to up that one more, being 19 lights. So it would be for 18 lights and 6 ballasts. So, and with that quote, there's no warranty that comes along with that, and it's just the bulb and the ballast. So with that, it would be us still contracting out a company to install those lights and balances. And again, I need to say, we really don't know what's going on with the lights. So there hasn't been anyone to actually go up there and tell us, do any kind of, troubleshooting, that's the word I was looking for, yes, sir. Any kind of troubleshooting to actually let us know what's wrong. Is it just the bulb or is it a bulb and the ballast? And again, I think if, that might be something we want to just go ahead and get someone up there to actually tell us what's wrong, so we won't be doing all this guessing on what's wrong with the lighting system. And again, with vendor C, that would be more us buying the bulbs, that getting directly sent to us, and then us finding of another vendor to actually put that in for us. Again, it's probably the quickest turnaround on that. We're talking probably 5 to 6 days, I think it was, with a local vendor here in the Triangle. Vendor D is, again, is LED lighting. Again, with vendor C is replacing the bulbs with what we currently have over there. So it's not LED lighting. It's replacing it with the current lighting system we have over there, using the same type of bulb. Vendor D is just replacing the current lights that we have out with LED. Again, you'll have kind of a hybrid feel where you got some LED, some HID lighting. I'm not sure how that would look, but it would be a solution to something where we're still providing adequate lighting. Again, that would just be the bulbs. That doesn't include any installation or anything on that end. And then finally with vendor E, it is with the quote, it was at the time, it was for 12 lights, but we would need to up that. But that quote is for 12 lights, and that being HID lights, again, which are the current lighting system, the current bulbs that we use at the community center. And again, that would be for the bulbs, just the bulbs. Sorry, that would be, I missed that out. That would be for the bulbs as well as the installation of those bulbs with that final quote.
Mr. Chris, so I see the cut sheet for the bulb itself. I'm assuming a 1500 watt metal halide. And then the final cut sheet, this one, it actually appears to show a lighting layout as well.
Yes, sir.
What category, which option was that final sheet?
That was for D. That was for D. Vendor D, sorry.
If I recall correctly, most folks are going away from the HID stuff.
Yes, sir.
And whereas I suspect, I mean, that looks to be less expensive. It's going to be kicking a can, I think. It would, whatever we, well.
And again, there's no decision that needs to be made tonight.
Yeah.
Again, I just want to get this information in your hands so we can gather, that you guys can think about it and pretty much give me your thoughts and how you want me to proceed at the March meeting. Again, we're kind of in a time crunch as well, where we do have Little League starting on Valentine's Day, February 14th, Saturday, as our coaches clinic, and then we'll start practices on Monday, February 16th. Season would start second Saturday. I wanted to say that's Saturday, March the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. See, the first opening day would be March the 13th. I know it's a lot of information to take in, but again, we were kind of put on the spot during our last meeting, and now that we have quotes, now we can develop a plan to implementing, repairing the lighting system over there.
Thank you for gathering this.
Oh, no problem, no problem, no. Any questions, concerns, thoughts?
See, this number we got now, that's what, 8 or 10 more than what we had less than a year ago?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when a lighting problem first came to me, I think we were in the single digits at 8 lights. and all of those being on the baseball field. That's currently at 11. And last fall, we didn't, was it last fall? This past fall, we didn't have any lights out on the soccer field. So that has happened. Those 8 lights have went out from the fall until now. Again, still playable, still usable for the multi-purpose field. I would say if we're concentrating on one specific area, we need to concentrate on the baseball, softball field. That being particularly left field. We have the entire left field pole out, as well as the left center field only has 1 light. So if it was 100% the town's program, I wouldn't feel comfortable playing on the community center's field at this time, just due to the lighting, the lack of lighting in the left field.
Are any of them willing to troubleshoot?
I'm sure 4 out of the 5 are willing to troubleshoot, but that's going to come with a cost as well. And that's a cost I can get numbers for. Like, I can gather those numbers and get those numbers to you in the meantime before our March meeting. So again, I can ask what would it take to actually just get here, get a boom lift, and get up there and actually tell us what it is.
Yeah, the whole cost of the thing is mobilization. They bring that bucket truck, and it's not your average bucket truck. It's
Correct.
It's longer.
Correct.
Arm due to the height of those poles. So the whole cost, really a big portion of that install cost is mobilization. So, he's going to go up to each pole regardless.
Correct.
The chance that you either leave with a new fixture or leave with a repaired fixture or, et cetera.
Yes, sir.
And what you described, in some cases, it shows a HID lamp and, a ballast kit, or brand new, LED fixture, so.
And again, the only one that actually included the ballast was vendor C. So again, even for your other vendors, we're just talking the bulb. So if they get up there and they figure it's a ballast, now it's an additional cost because that ballast wasn't in the quote that they gave us. And again, they can't give us quote on something they don't know what's going on. Again, it's going to take someone actually getting up there troubleshooting to let us know what's needed on the system.
I know when we talked about this last year, staff was going to reach out to the community center and talk about possibly pursuing grants.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know there's been a lot of turnover since then, but I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to do that or not.
We had the direct conversation hasn't happened, and again, I think especially with Sarah Bunn on board, I think the community center, the communication as well as the organization of the community center is going in a positive direction. I did fill out for the amateur sports grant for those lights over there, pretty much the same grant that we won last year, but we just didn't win the portion of the lighting. So I resubmitted that with the amateur sports grant, which again, I think we'll probably be with 2 other towns this year because they definitely let me know not to apply for the grant because we were one of 4 last year, and I know Smithfield is applying as well as Clayton applying for that same grant. And it's less money this year. Last year it was $25,000. This year they broke it down to $10,000.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not sure why that was, but there'll be some competition this year.
Mayor, if I may ask Chris a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Chris, do you have any information about potential cost savings to LED with energy usage?
I don't, but that's definitely some information I can obtain.
Yeah, that's.
And again, as the vendor, as Mr. Wilson, one of the vendors I talked to today, he was pretty much saying, like, with the pricing that we're getting for those bulbs from one of the vendors, you can't beat that right now, especially since with the price of LED going down, with them, like with it becoming more prominent, the prices of LED going down, with the price, if we're looking just at cost savings, C will probably be the best option if we're just updating it. But at the same time, I guess it's up to us if we just want to update it or do we want to just take it to the next level as well.
And secondly, you talked about the timetable with the Little League calendar. Do you have any idea, and I'm sure it varies by vendor, what type of turnaround we might have if council decided to move forward with one of these options?
With vendor A, you're probably looking at a 3-month turnaround. Vendor B, you're probably looking anywhere from a 6 to 8 week turnaround. Vendor C, you're probably looking, as far as getting the materials, you're probably looking anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, as that's a local vendor, but you would have to find a vendor to actually put it in. Vendor D, you're probably looking anywhere from a 3 to 4 week, as well as vendor E.
Thank you.
No problem.
What I would like to see is, I don't want to go out there and patch it up
Mm-hmm.
and spend 50,000 when we could have spent another 25 or 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been good for 50,000 hours.
Yes, sir.
That, I mean, that, the hour, the bulbs are guaranteed
Mm-hmm.
is one thing, and the usage is something else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is-
I think something to take into concern as well is that I would definitely agree with you if this was our property. I think it not being our property takes into a long-term effect on that one as well.
That's exactly right.
And again, we're managing the property for the next 20 years, but
And, you know, and that's the reason, you know, Brian told me that the reason they pushed it to 25 was because if we have to do this, we have got to get our money back. And them signatures and them little ball players, them 500 kids playing,
yes, sir.
is what's going to pay
Yes, sir.
for it. And, you can't do it in 4 or 5 years.
No, you can't. And again, I think with the rentals as well as with our cost recovery on our baseball program, we're moving towards that
Oh, yeah.
direction.
You know, another thing is it's like Ronnie was talking about, this year,
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be a whole lot of advertisement at that ball field down yonder.
Yes, sir. And this
You know,
year is a bigger, this year's tournament will be a bigger tournament than we had last year. Again, I think, I don't think he explained the magnitude of that tournament that we've been awarded. Last year, we had 6 organizations come in Orchard Lodge, outside organizations, and gave us nothing but glowing reviews on our ball fields. Now you're looking at, and I have the numbers from that tournament. You're probably were talking anywhere from 100 to 150 people at the ballpark during each night. Now you're talking softball, which we were awarded this tournament, and we took it from Greenville. Like, this tournament has been in Greenville for the last 15, 20 years.
Yep.
So now we have been rewarded the regional as well as the state. So now you're talking, we used 1 ball field last year, we'll be using all 3 this year. Along with probably anywhere, again, with the numbers Ronnie told me, anywhere from probably 400 to 500 nightly with this tournament. So I think it's a big thing for Orchard Lodge, and it's a way to show off what the work that you guys have been completing over the last couple of years here.
Cause I mean, that thing in Greenville's big.
And like he said, our 12U team, they should be there. They've been there the last 2 years. Guess who's put them out every year? Greenville. Greenville has beat them the last 2 years from going to the states. I mean, from winning the states. They still make the tournament, but now that they have to travel to Georgia instead of hosting that first regional game. So. Any other questions, concerns? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 15, Mayor's Report. First off, I'd like to congratulate Mr. David Bone, and looking forward to working with you, the administrator's role for the town. And I know this effort's been 5, almost 6 months in the making, and for us, so since we started. I also like to thank Central Pines. Ms. Jenny, please extend my thanks to Mr. Lee. I know he was joining remote tonight and probably ran out of time. And but we really appreciate all of your assistance, your organization's assistance during this process. It was most helpful, most helpful. I'd also like to thank staff, for putting a lot of time. Our HR, our finance, our interim town council, and other staff members played a big role in this as well. So we're thankful for all the help, all of the working together on this and coming to a conclusion, and right in time for budget season. So we're thankful for that. We are very thankful for that. At this time, we'll have council members' remarks. We'll go with Councilman Jackson first.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And budget.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Councilman Davis.
Just welcome aboard.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
All right, Councilman Eccles.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Get ready to, when I was a child, you didn't get swimming lessons, you got pushed in the pool. Get ready to jump in with both feet.
Look forward to it.
All right. And Mayor Pro Tem Castleberry.
I'd just like to say we look forward to talking with you and sitting down and just go over all this stuff and get it underway. It's the most important time of the year for us, and this is still a little kink and everything, but I look forward to getting on the bandwagon this road.
Thank you.
Right. And Councilman Brute.
I'll do my standard ditto. It's basically the same thing, but no, welcome aboard, and good luck packing and moving. I know what a hassle that's going to be, so I hope it goes smoothly as well.
All right. At this time, item 17, we will go into closed session. I'm going to ask our legal counsel if he will please take us into closed session.
Mr. Mayor, pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 143, 318, 11, 5, subsection 2, you are authorized to enter closed session.
All right. Council, do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. I had a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Voted unanimous. We are now in closed session. So give